Hey friends, welcome back. I'm LlamaMamaKayla, and I hope you're all having a great December. I hope that you are enjoying the month, and I hope that you're gonna have a wonderful Christmas. No matter what your Christmas day is like, no matter if you're sitting at home by yourself, make it the best day that you possibly can. Enjoy it for you, not for anyone else, just for you. So anyway, I'm not doing so great, but I wanted to come and say hi to everyone, and plus I want to open a drawer on my advent box. So I ended up having to go back to the ER, but not with my feeding tube. What happened was last Sunday I didn't feel well, and I noticed that my lips were tingling and numb and tingling feeling, and my chin was also. And then it started up like the side of my face here was just all numb and tingling, and it wasn't painful at that moment. It was just like tingling, like electricity just kind of running through my face. And so I was, worried about like an infection in my gums or something, because I do have horrible issues with my teeth from throwing up all the time, and that eats the acid away from my teeth. And also the scleroderma, my mouth is shrinking. I can feel it very, very tight and shrinking in there. And also the Sjogren's is really hard on your teeth, and lupus is hard on your teeth. So I have a lot of mouth stuff like that going on. And so I thought maybe I had like an infection in my gums or something. So I started taking an antibiotic that I had. And then I took some pain medicine that day. So anyway, the next day, and Big Daddy just kept asking me, do you feel like you need to go to the hospital? I was like, no. And he's like, do you think it's a stroke? And I was like, no, it doesn't feel that the same as that. It's different. I can feel it's different. And so he was like, you want to go just to make sure? And I'm like, no, I don't want to go. I don't feel like doing anything. And so we did not go, but he kept asking me if I wanted to go. And then Monday morning, I couldn't sleep that night. I couldn't lay on my face, and I was just miserable. That's all the only way to describe it. And it was just like electricity just jittering in my face and my lips, and it was just annoying as all get out. And it was a little bit painful then, all day, all night and everything, but it wasn't like excruciating, okay? And then so he's getting ready for work Monday morning, and he's like, are you sure you don't want to go to the hospital? I said, no, if it gets worse, I'll call you. He was like, okay. So I sat there for a little while doing some stuff at my desk and all, and then the numbness kind of spread. Like, I really don't want to touch my face, but it was like up here, down, and my chin and my lips. It's just like this whole area right here was just numb and tingling. And then all of a sudden, it started just like this pain out of nowhere, this excruciating pain. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what in the world, And it was just the most horrible pain you can imagine in your face. And I took some pain medicine, and I tried to lay down, but it just wasn't relaxing any. I tried to put a heating pad on it. It wasn't any better. So I called Big Daddy and I said, I need you to take me to the hospital. And he said, okay, I'm at the hospital in Ravelry right now with a patient. He said, let me see how much longer they're going to be. Let me make a phone call, and I'll be on my way soon. But he was in a company vehicle at that time, so he had to go back to his work, which is about 10 miles away, and changing it into his vehicle, then to come and get me. And so I was just like bawling in pain. Okay, I was crying. It was excruciating, and I'm just like, it was unbearable pain. So I called him back to see if he was going to come or if I needed to call an ambulance or something, because I could not take that pain. It was horrible. And so he said, I'm pulling out of his work right then. He said, I'm on my way. He said, you be ready and just be waiting. When I pull up, come out. We're going. So I got a few things together and threw in my bag that I take every time I go to the hospital for doctor visits or ER or anything, just in case, because, you know, what happens. So I threw a few things in the bag, not a lot, just a couple of things, because I thought, you know, if they do keep me, then, you know, he can come back home and get whatever I need. So, he came on, he got here pretty quick, and it's like at least a 45-minute drive, but he got here pretty quick. So we off to the hospital. He puts me out, and I go in there and I tell him at the desk, you know, that I've got numbness and pain, really, really bad. Oh, and I was nauseated, and I don't know if that was from the pain or what, but I was really nauseated. And so they get me on in a triage, and my blood pressure was through the roof. It was like 200 something, over 100 something, but anyway, it was through the roof. And they were like worried about blood pressure, and I'm like, I'm in just like excruciating pain here. No wonder my blood pressure's high. And so they got me onto the back, and I had a nurse practitioner to come in, her and a nurse. And she was so nice. I love nurse practitioners, whether it's male or female, because they are just more attentive than a doctor is, right? Okay. And let me just tell you why I'm on that. Male nurses are more attentive than the female nurses. I don't know why that is, but it just seems to work out that way. But anyway, this nurse practitioner and the nurse came in, and she asked me what was going on. I told her, you know, that Sunday I had numbness and tingling in my lips and chin, and it kind of worked its way up the side of my face. And it wasn't painful, but I did have some nausea, and it just kept, the numbness kept spreading across my face, like, and it was just getting worse, and now it's in just pain that I can't bear, unbearable pain. And she was like, okay, well, let's get you a CAT scan and see what's going on. She's like, do you feel like you've had a stroke? She said, I noticed in your records you've had a stroke before. I said, no, it doesn't feel the same, and it's not affected my speech. And so she was like, yeah, okay. And so Big Daddy was sitting there with me, and he said that, you know, the strokes before, I couldn't talk right. And he said she never had an episode where she couldn't talk. And so, but, you know, she wanted to get me in for a CAT scan and all that anyway. And so, she went on out, and I was just sitting there. The pain was just, I mean, I'm crying the whole time because the pain is just unbearable, okay? And so, I was getting up off that cot, and Big Daddy's like, where are you going? I said, I gotta tell her that I've got to have something for pain now. I can't wait till after a CAT scan. I need pain now, pain medicine now. And so he's like, I'll tell him. So he stuck his head out into the big ER room, and he told the lady, you know, to come here. And she came in, she's like, what do you need? And I said, I need something for pain right this minute. I said, I cannot wait. It's unbearable. And she said, okay, we'll get somebody in here right now. So she got somebody on in to put an IV in, and they gave me IV Dilaudid and IV Zofran. I don't know if you've ever had Dilaudid through IV, but it kind of just goes over your body, and you can feel it going through your body, and you can just, your body just kind of relaxes. And so it was just like a relief to get that that relaxing feeling and to take the edge off that pain. It was still hurting some, but it definitely took the edge off. And then the Zofran helped also, you know, with the nausea and everything. And so they came right in right when they was finishing that up and did an EKG. And then they came and took me to the ER for, I mean not ER, radiology for a CAT scan. And then got me back to the room. And then they came and did, and then the nurse said, you know, that she had some IV medications for me, and she was waiting on that to come up, and it would be, you know, a few minutes. And so when that came, she came and hooked me up to that. And, I mean, there was some waiting in between all this, but I'm just skipping that part. And then when she came and hooked me up to the IV medication, which I didn't even know what it was, didn't even care, just give it to me. And she had flushed the IV, and it flushed fine. It didn't hurt or anything. And I've had IVs, you know. I know all about IVs. I can tell when it's out of the vein and all that kind of stuff, you know. I can tell if it's not in the vein. She flushed it, and it was fine. It was in the vein. And then she hooked it up to that medication, and she made comment about that medication had a filter on it. She said, I don't know why this filter's on here, but I guess the medication needs it. And so she hooked it up, and she went on. My arm started hurting so bad, like, if somebody was there with an axe, I would have been like, cut it off, because it hurt so bad. And the nurse came back by, and I was like, hey. I said, this is hurting really bad. I said, it didn't hurt when you flushed it, but when you started the IV, it's hurting. And she said, oh, it's going to burn. I said, no, it's not burning. It's hurting. Like, extreme hurt. And so she said, let me stop it and see. So she stopped it, and she flushed it. And I said, see, that doesn't hurt when you flush it. So it must be the medication. She said, yeah, I guess that's why that filter's on there. So she said, do you not want the medication? I was like, no, what is the medication? And she said, it's for nerve pain in the face. Because you have, and let me try to say this without messing it up, okay? Trigeminal neuralgia. She said, that's what they diagnosed you with, and this medication is for that. And I was like, okay, well, I need the medication because I don't want my face to flare up that intense. And so she's like, are you sure? Because you don't have to get it if you don't want it. I was like, no, hook it back up. So she hooked it back up, and I sat there and took that medication on my arm in extreme pain. That medication was making me sleepy, like the Dilaudid I already had and the Zofran I already had was making me sleepy. And then this medication also was making me sleepy. And I told Jody, I said, look up there and see what this medication is. And so he got up and read on the pole, the bag hanging on the pole, to see what it was. And he said it was Dilantin, and he said they give that to patients at work for seizures. And so he looked it up, was reading it to me as I was sitting there and getting the medication. And so it's a medication they use to treat this trigeminal neuralgia, but we can call it TN, okay? And so it's a medication they use to treat that. And so anyway, the nurse practitioner came back in and said that they diagnosed me with this trigeminal neuralgia, and showed me a follow-up with my doctor, you know, and everything. So she was letting me go, and she gave me a prescription for some medication for it and everything. So they ended up, you know, letting me go after we was there the whole day. It was dark by the time we left. We probably got there about 12:30 maybe, so I don't know. Anyway, came home and I just went right to bed. And then the next day, it wasn't excruciating pain, but it was still the electricity in my lips and chin and side of my face. And so that's kind of what I'm dealing with. And I was going to get my son Elijah to go get that prescription filled. And so I was texting back and forth with my husband, and he was emailing back and forth with my doctor. And so he said, don't get that filled. Your doctor's going to call you in something that would be better suited for that. And so he called me in a different medication, and so I'm a few doses in on that medication. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 doses in on that medication, and I don't have the excruciating pain. It's painful and uncomfortable, but it's not like, I'm not squalling and bawling with the pain. It's just very uncomfortable, and through my lips and chin and my face, it's just like tingling electricity. It's just so weird. So anyway, I had never heard of this before, but now I know. Remember back in October, I had pain in the side of my face, and I thought I may need to go to the dentist. So I went to the dentist, and he could not find a tooth that was inflamed or abscessed, and he was checking all my teeth and everything, and he could not pinpoint a tooth that was infected. So he said, well, I'm going to give you an antibiotic in case it's in the gums and we can't see it. So he did that, and a pain medicine also, I think. But anyway, it eventually did get better. It took about a week, but it did get better back in October when I went to the dentist. So now I know that I shouldn't have went to the dentist back in October. I should have went to the hospital or to my doctor. I mean, I didn't know that, I just assumed I had a abscessed tooth or something, even though I didn't know what tooth it would be, and he couldn't find what was abscessed. Turns out nothing was. So now we realize I had an episode in October, and now an episode in December, and it is very, very, very painful. So I've looked this up on line, and also I went onto Facebook and looked for a group to read about it and to read what other people have taken for medication and stuff. And this is actually nicknamed suicide disease because it is so intense in the face, and it's just horrible, horrible. You really just can't stand it. So thankfully, I'm not in that horrible, horrible pain right now. Let me make sure that you understand that. I'm uncomfortable, and it's tingling and just annoying electricity running through my face. So there's people who live with this, and that is just so sad that there's no cure for this disease. And when the doctor had said that in the emergency room, I looked at Jody and I was just like, what? And she left out, and I was like, what in the world? Why do I have to get another disease that there's no cure for? I mean, lupus, Raynaud's, scleroderma, Sjogren's. There's no cure for any of this. And there's no cure for this. So anyway, what can set this off? Talking, moving your mouth. That's why I'm not moving my mouth like a whole lot. I'm trying to keep it still as much as possible. Chewing to eat, brushing your teeth, even the wind hitting your face can set this off. It is unbelievable. Wish I had never heard of this disease, and I hope none of you ever experience this disease. It is just unbelievable. It really is. Like, I felt like I was in like a bad nightmare dream all week. It's horrible. It is. It's really horrible. So anyway, that's what's going on with me, and I'm just kind of taking it easy, trying to, not upset this. I'm not moving my jaw really that much. and just trying to take it easy and not trying to let this pass. Some people, it never goes away. It stays there like that. And I don't know if the numbness and tingling is going to go away. It did in October. It went away and then came back in December. So I don't know if it's going to go away when it's not actively inflamed, or if it's going to stay, you know, like halfway flared up. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, I'm supposed to go see my doctor next week. He told Jody that he would get me an appointment for next week, because when I called and got an appointment, they gave me an appointment for February. And so that's when Jody started texting him. I mean, not texting, emailing him. And, you know, talking to him about what was going on with me. And he said he would get me in next week. So that's what's going on. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. This is horrible. I would not wish this on anyone. I mean, for God's sakes, this is unbelievable pain. I'm so thankful that I'm not in excruciating pain anymore. I don't know if you can hear the dog snoring. Ginger's laying on her dog bed on the other side of this table, and she's snoring. Okay, I'm going to open my day 9 box. Oh, I got the other baby giraffe. Oh, he's so cute. Here's the other one. So I have a mama also. She's at my desk because I was making a dress for her. So I have the babies. They're so cute. And that one came with binoculars. I don't know if you can see that, but it came with a set of binoculars. And the first one came with a camera. They're so cute. I'm so sad that I'm so far behind. And I was going to be honest with you, I want to open all these drawers and get my critters. But I'm holding out because I do have some videos that I need to do. And so I'm going to just try to do some videos while I'm able to just sit here and talk for a little bit. And, you know, I'm not like really animated with my face, and that's the reason why. These are just so cute. I love these. I love these little critters. They're so adorable. So these giraffes are really cute. I'm so glad that Big Daddy wanted to order me these from Japan. Okay, friends, I'm going to go, and I will see you all again very soon. And I hope you're all having a wonderful December. Thanks, friends.